super hard on them, and we're hoping to get them up soon. So keep our fingers crossed that that all works out well. All right, guys. So today we're going to get a little bit more serious for a little bit. We're going to get into some topics that are a little bit more heavy. And I'm going to talk for a little bit, and then we'll go into me answering questions and stuff, okay? So, the thing that I want to talk about today is this myth of happiness. I feel like this topic is really, really important to me because I really wasted a lot of my life with this obsession of trying to be happy. And the truth is that I personally have never really found any kind of semblance of peace in life until I gave up this myth of happiness. And I really wanted to talk about this because there's been literally hundreds of comments about how I am always happy and I am always positive, and well, I'm not. You guys are coming into my life at a really good time. I mean, I'm a virus. I'm blowing up on social media, and I'm getting an insane amount of traffic on my social media accounts, especially on Twitch. There's 125,000 of you, and that's absolutely mind-boggling. And that feels really good. It's made me happy to have people to talk to, and I've been really excited to see people engaging with my content in, meaningful ways. And all of this has understandably provided a huge boost to my baseline mood. However, regardless if this increased engagement proves to be sustainable or not, my mood's not going to be. If the engagement declines, then I'm no longer going to receive that mood boosting benefit, and I might even face challenges of dealing with feelings of rejection. If this sustains, then at some point this is just going to become my new normal and everyday life, and I'm no longer going to get those huge hits of dopamine and serotonin that I've been getting from it right now. But either way, this fairly consistent, happy, and excited state isn't going to sustain. It can't. We as humans aren't designed to exist that way. It's not how our brains are built. Being happy all of the time is not attainable in a healthy way. Our emotions serve as signals and regulators in our bodies. They're cues that tell us how things are going in our environment. Feelings of anxiety and fear exist to tell us that there's danger, and anger, when boundaries are being crossed or that there's an injustice. And sadness is telling us that something, is lost and that there's a need for change in the way that we engage with the world. Because they're telling us things that are important, we're never going to exist without these more uncomfortable emotions. So it's important to understand that attaining happiness as a constant state of being isn't normal. It's actually considered a pathology, and the name for that pathology is called mania. And the reason it's considered pathology is that a constant state of happiness is proven to be a very destructive state. You lose perspective on what's safe behavior, and you take risks that often lead to a great deal of harm. They lose the ability to gauge what's really happening in the world around them, and their perceptions of reality become, distorted, and sometimes it's so severe that they become outright delusional. And the most damaging thing is that they can lose insight into their own state of being because it just feels good to be that way. And thank you, gotta hydrate. Apparently I just need to outright water myself. So it's not a realistic goal, but contentment is. And this isn't a state that implies that you aren't feeling all the messy things that make us human. Rather, it's existing in a state of being where you feel satisfied with what you have. It's about feeling that you as a person are enough just as you are. It's about feeling that you are making enough money and doing well enough in your job. It's about feeling that you belong to a part of community that's giving you meaning and purpose. Contentment is an attainable goal, and it is sustainable in a healthy way, because you can be content and still get angry or anxious or sad or even happy. It's about feeling like life's okay most of the time and accepting that life's not going to be perfect. So the other thing to understand is that social media distorts our perceptions of reality. And this is because you're never going to see the full life of a person on social media. And even though I try to present myself honestly and in a genuine way, you're never going to see me at my worst. You're never going to see me when I'm too sick to get out of bed. You're never going to see me when I'm struggling with despair. And you're never going to see me when I am fully grappling with my darkest demons. I'm not going to stream or make posts on those days. And it's not because I want to hide those parts of myself from you. It's because I am just too busy fighting to simply stay alive and survive the day. I just don't have time or spoons to get on social media on those days. And we're going to stretch. So I get that for many people that's going to sound melodramatic. And that's okay. And I'm actually glad, because that means that you've never had the life experiences that are going to allow you to readily understand that perception to make it make sense to you. But there are also going to be many who are listening to this who are going to really relate to that statement. And there's really no way that I can present to you what those days really look like after the fact. But I want you to understand that I'm no different than anyone else. I have just as many struggles as you do. And I fought just as many demons. I fight with depression and feelings of inadequacy, and I have my entire life. And those demons have brought me to my knees more than once. I have a history of self-harm, and I often fight with thoughts of suicidality. There was even once in my life that the demons pushed me so close to the edge that I went as far as making a plan, making the preparations, and sitting there and looking at the option with real consideration. And that's a darkness and a battle that you're never going to see on social media. You're always going to see my life and the life of other people on social media filtered in a way that's only going to present the goodness and the light. And yeah, it's gonna give you a distorted view of who I am. And yes, I'm slouching again. So I just need you to know that I'm not some kind of special unicorn. I'm just a human. And like you, I'm normal. I have my demons. I have bad days. I have struggles. But I made a choice, and I make that choice every day, to do my best to live life with kindness and compassion towards the people around me. And I do that because I am terrified of being the thing that pushes someone else off of the fragile edge that I've also stood on. And I choose kindness and compassion because just maybe that kindness and compassion can help pull that person back from that edge and give them one more day that they can keep fighting. So it's a choice that any of us can make. I'm just another person. So keep that in mind. We're all people. We're all human. Just an average Joe. I'm really not a special unicorn. All right, that's my ramble and rant for the day. And I know there was lots of comments strolling by while I was like, blah, 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 blah. So let me scroll up to look at some of these.